We just got the results from several major tournaments around the world, and there's a clear new contender in this format, Gundam Zero. Let's walk through how to play this deck. First, the start of the show is Gundam Zero itself. When it enters play, it deals 3 damage to every unit that's level 5 or lower, including yours. That might sound risky, but most of your important units are level 6 or above. Plus, you can attack with your other units first, so you control when that board wipe hits. And don't forget it has high maneuver. Pair with Hero Yui in the late game, and you can often wrap up the match right then and there. Then there's the original Wing Gundam from the start deck. It still holds its own because it can attack active enemy units directly. If your opponent has a unit on board, you don't have to hesitate. Remove those threats before they can react. And with Breach 5, you keep chipping away at their base as well, which really helps maintain momentum. And finally, Gundam Death Scythe is a great resource accelerator. When you pair with any operational meteor pilot, you gain 1 extra rested resource, letting you reach those higher levels sooner. That means you can drop your big units before your opponent is ready. It also has First Strike, which in a fresh meta can force your opponent into tough decisions. It turns what may have been a favorable block on their side to one they may just let through because they don't want to lose their units. Hero Yui really shines here. He's the link pilot for both Wing Gundam Zero and Wing Gundam. That means the moment those big finishers hit the board, you can swing right away, and they get extra stat boost. Suddenly, Wing Gundam can push through any base, and Wing Gundam Zero becomes a tank that often forces your opponent into awkward multiple trades. I'm also a fan of Duo Maxwell. You don't necessarily need him for Death Scythe's ramp or First Strike, but having the option to link is great. Plus, with Freedom Gundam and Kira Yamato still being popular, Duo's ability to cancel out that -2 attack penalty on your Death Scythe can make a huge difference in those key late game turns. So for ramp, Wing Gundam Burn mode is a great play on turn 3. It nets you an additional EX resource right away. You don't have to burn it immediately, just having that extra resource means you can hit higher levels faster and start dropping your big units sooner. Another card to consider is First Contact. Its burst effect only gives you 1 EX resource, but it also plays a full rested resource when you play it from hand. In practice though, I found it to be a little slow. Dropping it on turn 3 without board development sometimes puts you way too behind. This next section is what I like to call staying alive. You don't want to take too much damage in the early game and spend the rest of the game trying to play catch up. We got plenty of blockers in the deck. Zowar and Gundam Lefrith are excellent early drops, and you can experiment with AO Strike Gundam paired with Kira Yamato to slow things down until you're ready to swing the game with your green units. Because there are actually a lot of aggressive strategies running around, Striker Pack is a solid inclusion. It's never dead in your hand, you can drop a 2-4 to chump block small threats for a few turns, or go with the 4-2 to trade and keep the pressure off your shields. And obviously, the burst effect will always be impactful. Another card worth thinking about is Peaceful Timber. Imagine an opponent has buffed a single unit through a pilot or support just enough to take down your base, then you drop a Timber, and suddenly that attack doesn't happen, and could buy you a lot more time to set up your big plays. And on top of that, Timber is also a pilot, so you can pair it with Gundam Death Scythe for the extra ramp. Just a super versatile card. And don't overlook your base choice. Underground Desert Base is a quiet hero here. It doesn't bring flashy effects, but that extra point of health, 6 instead of 5, can be a real game saver against fast aggro decks and those punishing Wing Gundam swings with Breach. Sometimes that 1 extra HP is all you need to survive long enough to drop your big finishers. This deck really comes down to finding the right pieces at the right time. Early on, you need your blockers, mid-game you want to hit your ramp cards on curve, and later you need your big finishers to close things out. That's where deck filtering shines. Overflowing Affection is perfect for the early turns. One of the perks of going second is you can drop it on turn 1. It lets you cycle away cards you can't play yet and dig for the pieces you actually need to start building your board. Then once you reach level 5, the path to victory or defeat becomes a game changer. If you're paying attention to the board state, it really is the best card in the deck. You pick either an Operational Meteor or G-Team card, unit or pilot, so you can grab that big finisher, the exact pilot you need for a link, or even a Peaceful Timber to shut down a lethal attack. It's basically your answer to any board state your opponent is throwing at you. All in all, the Wing Gundam Zero deck is about finding the right tools at the right time. Early blockers to keep you alive, ramp cards to hit your big plays on curve, and powerful finishers backed by versatile tutors and link pilots. And here's a sample deck list for you to start piloting this deck yourself. You could even take a more aggressive spin on the list by slapping in Shenlong Gundam. Its attack trigger skill means your opponent can't use the blocker you choose to destroy. It completely flips the damage math and can end games on the spot. It gets even nastier when you link Shenlong with Chung Wufei. Suddenly, you're nuking any unit with 3 or less AP without taking damage, and since Wufei works with all your Breach units, your Wing Gundam becomes even more powerful. That said, with so many aggro decks right now, these mid to late game tech cards can feel a bit slow and can end up clogging your draws. So right now, they're best in mirror matches against Freedom blockers, or if we ever move to best of 3 formats as side deck options. What do you guys think about Wing Gundam Zero? With this being the most represented deck in the tournaments, this is where it starts to get interesting. Will this deck remain at the top, or will players figure out different strategies to counter this deck? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and also what deck analysis you want me to do next.